Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about repetitive statement in Central, specifically in AL programming. So before going to the concept, let us understand what is repetitive statement and why do we need this. So repetitive statements are also called as loops. Okay, so we will call it as a loop in any programming language. Okay, so loops are used in a programming when you need to execute a certain block of code repeatedly, either a set number of times or until a certain condition is met. Okay, so for example, this loop will be used in order to process the data. Okay, so one of the uses, like why you need the loop, is what to process the data. For example, if you have a large amount of data that needs to be processed in a specific way, such as a sorting or filtering or transforming, you can use a loop to iterate over each item in the data set and apply the necessary transformation. Okay, and what is another usage? User input validation. Okay, so if you're building a program that requires user input, you can use a loop to keep asking the user for input until they provide a valid input. For example, you might ask the user to enter a number between 1 and 10 and use the loop to keep prompting them until they enter a valid number. Okay, and the third one is repeat task. Okay, so repeat task, in the sense, if you need to perform a certain task multiple times, such as printing a message or sending an email, you can use a loop to repeat the task as many as times you need. Okay, so overall, loops are powerful tool in AL programming that allows us to automate repetitive tasks and process large amounts of data efficiently. So this is the purpose of the loop. So what are the various, this we call it as a repetitive statement, repeated statements in Business Central. So what are the types of loops do we have? So we have these five types of loops. Okay, repetitive loops. So what are these things? So one is for to do, for down to do, for each end do, while do, and repeat until. So everything has its own functionality, everything has its own usage. So accordingly we have to use. So today I will tell you about all these things. Okay, what is for to do, what is for, because you should know the difference first. Then I will show you the live example for executing this for to do and for down to do. Okay, these two should be together. Even for each and do also be together. But anyhow, I'll explain this. If time permits, I'll also explain this together. In the next video, we will understand what is while do and repeat until. Okay, so this is what, first, as I told, let me explain you like what everything does. Okay, what is the functionality and when you should use that. So let us understand about for to do. Okay, this is a most used repetitive statement, and you should already know how many times you will repeat the task. Okay, so you should already know like how many times you are going to repeat the implementation of the statement. For example, if you wanted to implement a statement for 5 times, or if you wanted to implement a statement for 10 times, so you already knows how many times you're going to repeat it. Okay, so you should know how many times. This is important, this is for to do. Okay, so this is very very important in terms of for to do, so you should know how many times you are going to use that. Okay, got it. So, and what is the next one? You are counting upward in the sense you're going to increment the value. For example, if you're going to start from 5, sorry, 1, then you should go, you should increment it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you can even increment like plus 2, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But anyhow, you should go upward, you should go incrementing upward, not downwards. Got it? If you already know C, Python, or anything, no, we don't have any specific upwards or downward repetitive statement. So simply we will use the increment. For example, we will use like a I plus plus or I plus is equal to 1, which is used to increment the value. Whereas if you use I minus minus or I minus is equal to 1, which is used to decrement the value. But here for incrementing we have for to do. Okay, and of course, yes, what you have guessed is correct. For decrementing we will be using for down to do. Okay, the next one is the for down to do. So for down to do, which will decrement the value which counts downward. Other than that, everything is same. Okay, if you wanted to decrement it, you have to use it. For example, instead of writing like I minus minus, you have to use for down to do. Okay, to do like that. Okay, we will see the thing. So the next one is what? For each in do. For each in do, you can only be used in an enumerable collections, on an enumerable collection. So what do you mean by enumerable collections? Which means it should be an array. Okay, so you have to create an array. So for each in do, for each in the sense, this can be applied only to the array. So what is an array? If anyone who doesn't know what is array, or if you wanted to clarify what is array, please let me know. Leave your comment. I will definitely help you out on explaining all the data type. But as of now, I'm just giving you an overview. Array, which means a collection of similar data in a same variable. Okay, so for example, if you store something like a customer number, okay, customer number, if you make it as an array, then it will be like 23, 42, 56, 78. Everything will be stored under customer number. And if you wanted to access it, you can access it like this. Okay, so this is what the array. If you wanted to know, please leave your comments. I will explain you very clearly. Next one is while do. It will first check to see if the condition is true before it starts looping. Okay, this is what entry control loop, we will call it as an entry control loop. Okay, it is an entry control. First the condition will be executed. If the condition is true, then it will proceed further. If the condition is false, then it will not go further. Okay, and in case of the next one, which means that repeat until, which is an exit control loop. Exit control loop in the sense a statement will be executed first once, even though the condition is true or false. Okay, and then finally the condition will be checked. Okay, so this is exit control. So if you wanted to check the condition later, then you can go ahead with the exit control. If you want to check the condition first, and if you don't know how many times the loop will execute, then you can go ahead with the while loop. If you know how many times the loop will execute, then you can go ahead with the for down to do or for to do. Okay, and if you have an enumerable collections, then you can go ahead with the for each. Okay, and finally you have a class. We will call it as a class. With class, where it is used as the it is used in the combination with the repetitive statements. Always we will use with class. Okay, we will discuss everything in detail, so don't worry. But you can even use the with class as a standalone. This is to reduce the usage of your record variables. We will be using a with class. Okay, so as I told, today we will discuss these two things, which is for to do and for down to do. Okay, so let us see. Now what I have did is what for variable. Okay, so I have created a two integer. Okay, one is total and int count. Okay, and the next one I have created for down to do. I have created again an int count one, that is to increment the counter, the total sales, number of sales. Okay, and sales array, since I wanted to show you like how array is working. Okay, like in for each we have specifically saw like this, that will hold only the, that will work only on enumerable. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you cannot use enumerable in any other loop like for down or for to do. So let us, I have, what I have created is I have created a local procedure to, in order to execute everything. Okay, so this is the first one, which is the try for is my local procedure for trying the for to do. Okay, and okay, so now what happens here, that is what we are going to see. Always you have to initialize the value properly. So I'm just giving total is equal to 0. Okay, and next one, for int count colon 1 to 5 do. This is what for to do. Okay, so for int count, so now what happens, int count will be assigned to 1 to 5. Okay, it will be incremented until 5, that is 1 2 3 4 5. Do what I wanted to do, until that I wanted to calculate the total amount. Okay, total is equal to total plus 3. Got it? So now let us execute the first loop. What it will go, first loop, loop 1. Okay, let us give like loop 1. It will go and check for int count is equal to 1 2 5 do. Okay, total, first loop it will go inside. Now what it will happen, int count will be 1. Okay, count is equal to 1. Okay, int count will be 1. Now total is equal to total, what is the first value of total, 0. 0 plus 3, now the total will be 3. Okay, so what happens, it will execute. Okay, then next it will go to the loop 2. Now int count will be 2. Okay, I'm just instead of writing int count, I'm just making it as int c. 2 total, now what is the value of total, it's 3, right? So 3 plus 3, this plus 3 is constant. Okay, plus 3, now the value of total will be what, 6. Am I right? Okay, I hope you are getting my point. So now two loops are completed. Okay, now it will enter the third loop. So what happens, your third loop, your int count will be 3. Okay, loop 3, int count will be 3. So the total will be 6 now, because here the total is 6. 6 plus 3, which is 9. Okay, now int count will be incremented to 4. So total is equal to 9 plus 3, which is equal to 12. It will go to the next loop. Int count is equal to 5. So the total count is equal to 12 plus 3, which is equal to 15. Then it will not go further, because you have completed the 5. Until 5 it reaches ic is equal to 5 now. So it will exit the loop and it will print the value 15. Okay, shall we check whether it is showing the value as 15? Yes, yes, let us go here. So I have this, so I am just try for loop. So what happens, it is showing me the value 15. Got it? So this is how this try for will work. Okay, so where I have written, I have called this procedure from the action. Okay, in the action I have executed the for loop. So inside the action I'm just calling try for. Okay, I hope you are clear now. Let me go to the next loop, which is for to, for down to. Okay, I told for each you have to use enumerable collections, which means arrays or list. But for other loop, you can use enumerable collection, or you can use a simple collection, simple variable. Okay, so this is the enumerable collection here. So here you can see I have declared the value, I have declared the variable sales. Okay, this is the sales, and I made it as an array of 5, which means that I have 5 collections. Okay, so sales, it will be created like the sales is equal to 5 of integer. So I want a 5 integer value to be stored in a single variable. Okay, so for example, if I am storing like this 10 5 1 2. Okay, how it will be stored, it will be stored as an index value. So 20 will be in 1 2 3 4 5. This we will call index value. Okay, and one thing which we have stored as the value, which is called as an element. Okay, element. So this everything, because since I have mentioned this as an integer, so everything will be an integer. Okay, it will be stored under sales. So if I wanted to access the 20 value, that is the value 20, so I have to access it like sales of 1. Okay, if I wanted to access 5, Yes, can you try? Yes, sales of 3. Very good. Okay, this is how you have to access all these things. So I have created this for the for down to do. So these four belongs to for down to, which means the decrementing the value. So let us see what is for down to. So I have declared the array elements for the sales. Okay, so how it will be stored? It will be stored like this. Okay, 20 as 1, 10 as 2, 30 as 3, 15 as 4, and 25 as 5. Okay, so as usual I have initialized the total sales is equal to 0. Okay, for int count 1 colon is equal to 5 down to 1, so it has to reduce. So now your int count IC, I'm just keeping IC as int count, is equal to 5. Okay, it will go inside the loop. Okay, so what happens? Total sales is equal to, what is the value of total sales initially? It's 0, plus what I'm telling, sales of int count 1. So what is the value of 5? What is the value of int count 1 now? 5, right? So sales of 5, am I right? So what is the value of sales of 5? It's 25, correct? So now ts is equal to 0 plus 25, whereas ts is equal to 25. So this is end of loop 1. Got it? Clear? Now let what it will go, what it will do, it will decrement because I have used down to. Now what happened? Automatically IC will be changed to 4, and now my TS is what? 25. Okay, so what happens? It will go inside the loop. It will now what? TS is equal to 25 and IC is equal to 4. Okay, it is decrementing 5 4, right? So I'm also keeping the value here, 10, sorry, 20, 10, 30, 15, 25. This is 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so now it's a loop 2. Okay, we have checked till loop 1. Loop 2, what happens? Your total sales is what? 25 plus sales of what? 4, right? Int count is 4, right? So what is sales of 4 is 15. So 25 plus 15, how much it is? 40. Yes, am I correct? Sorry, 30. It's right, 40. Fine. Okay, it's 40. So now it will go to the loop 3. Okay, so now ts is equal to 40 and IC is equal to 3. So it is going to add 40 plus IC sales of 3. What is sales of 3 here? It is 30. Okay, 40 plus 30, which is 70. Okay, again it will go down. 70 plus 10, you can try the loop 4 and loop 5. 70 plus 10 is 80, 80 plus 20 is 100, so 100 will be printed. So let us go and check whether 100 is printed. We will go to this, we will execute the down to, it's 100. Got it? So this is how for do to do and for down to will work. Okay, in the next video we will understand what is for each, while, do while, and in the upcoming video we will understand what is um while, do while, and case. That is case, we have case as well, that is a conditional statement, and if statement, and everything. Thank you, take care, bye bye.